This is Calvin Idle. Welcome to the Lavender Table, a web-based talk show for and about the LGBT community. And now, let's keep the conversation going with your host, Gary Elgin.
Welcome back to the Lavender Table. We're joined again by Krista and Kat Cooper. As most of our viewers know, Krista, your wife is a police officer.
Yes.
What is your occupation?
Well, right now I'm part-time in school and working at a little shoe store. I'm studying to get into the nursing program, so that's my
That's
goal.
the path that you
Yeah.
wish to pursue. Have you ever had misgivings about dating and now marrying a police officer?
You want me to leave that? I mean, I just live for who she is. I mean, it doesn't really matter what occupation she has. That doesn't really matter. I just fell in love with who she was and who she is. So.
Kat, when did you decide to pursue a career in law enforcement?
Well, it just kind of happened on me. All through school, I was very much for going into the medical field. Even when I went into law enforcement, I was still taking classes in pre-med. And actually, I moved out at a very young age, out of my parents' house. I bought my first house at a very young age. So I was working full-time. I was in college, and I was working as a vet tech at the Margaret Rock Pet Placement Center, which is a non-kill facility in Chattanooga. It's interconnected with the Humane Society. And I had seen the animal control officers. And I thought, man, that would be such a neat job to go out and to investigate cruelty to animals and whatnot. So at the time, they were actually commissioned and they went out and had arrest powers and, operated much in the same capacity as a police officer. They just investigated animal-related crimes. So I ended up applying for that, and I got into that position, and that's when it got me out into the field, out into the county, which was actually Hamilton County. So it encompassed all of Chattanooga and all the small municipalities. So I got to meet all the police officers in all the different jurisdictions. And they were like, well, we would love for you to come and try out doing this with us. So at that point, I got on with the reserve program with Collegedale. And not even a year after that, they said, we'll give you a full-time position. We'll pay for you to go through the academy. You'll get a take-home car. You can continue your education. We'll help you pay for that. And at the time, I was a young lady. I had a house of my own. I had ACs going out and trying to put groceries on the table and pay light bills. So I was like, perfect, this works for me. So it really just, it all fell hand in hand. And it's been great for me. I mean, I have gotten a lot out of working in law enforcement. And, now as a detective, I specialize in family-related crimes, child abuse, elder abuse. I go all over the Southeast, and I've spoke on those issues to colleges, different police departments for in-service training, and it's just opened so many wonderful doors for me. So.
Have you found any limitations being a lesbian and being in law enforcement?
Not really. I mean, I think if I was going to be limited at all, it would just be a female in general being in law enforcement. I mean, it's no big secret. It's a male-dominated profession, so there's definitely, hurdles you have to tackle and learn to deal with. You have to be very authoritative. A lot of times I work around a lot of very type A personalities and men, and they're headstrong, and they're gun-ho. Being a female, I do bring a little different flavor to all that. I typically don't approach being a police officer in the same manner as them, but it's needed. I mean, you need different personalities in every career, especially when you're in a public related type, profession. So not really has it, and I never went into law enforcement. Even when I went in to working at College Dell, I never hit it. It's like I said, I've been openly gay in this community since I've been very, very young. So it was never a big secret, to them.
Did you have any mentors?
Growing up, or just?
Take it as you will.
Well, not really. I mean, I've always just kind of beat to my own drum, to be honest. I think probably even my parents would vouch for this. I've always pushed rules to the limits. I've never been a follower. I've always kind of paved my own way. I guess probably one of the most influential people in my life has been my father, and just watching him and watching his moral compass and the way he goes through life and the way he protects his family and stands up for us. And I believe probably a lot of my moral fibers come from that and that kind of home and seeing that kind of security. I watched him provide for his family, put himself through school, and really make a life for himself and for us. So I'm very proud of him. And I guess if anybody has been a mentor in my life, it's been him.
You're a senior detective,
Mm-hmm.
and as you mentioned, you work a lot with abusive situations.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a hard time not bringing that home?
I used to. Yeah, it's been, it has taken me a long time in my law enforcement career to get to the point now to where I have learned the healthy balance between home life and work life. For a long time I did struggle with that to the point where it was detrimental to my health. As we all use things, substance abuse, alcohol, drinking, smoking, I used other things, over exercising and getting really focused on those top things and running and whatnot just to try to deal with the stress. So, working child abuse cases, dealing with those families. It's not someone broke into my car and took my credit card and used it at Walmart. A lot of my cases last, 1 or 2 years. You're in their homes, you're dealing with their parents, you're dealing with the parents now of the parents of the children who are abused. And it impacts the whole family. It impacts the offender side and it impacts the victim side. And a lot of times I'm dealing with both. So it is a 24-hour job. It's not an 8-hour job, 8-hour day job where you go home, you do your 8 and you go home. And she knew that getting into a relationship with me, and I was very explicit about explaining that to her. This is what I do. And, sometimes I'm on call and I have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and go out. And, sometimes I may work 80-hour, work weeks. Sometimes I may work 40. It's just, you never know. But, I don't think it's been too bad for us. Do you? No.
We'll be back with Krista and Kat Cooper in a moment on the Lavender Table.